motherfuckers, this is not a child-friendly channel. If you are 13 or younger, please get out, because otherwise I'm going to go to jail. And I, CatMik, would very much not like to go to jail.
Hey, Mick.
Alex, it's been a while.
Well, that's because you didn't invite me to any of your newest videos. Anyway, I found a new game for you, and I think it might make an interesting review. It's basically a game where you venture into a randomly generated dungeon and fight through it and any enemies you find, relying on mostly luck and some strategy to take on the bosses and enemies, but you have to take the losses in stride and deliver the punishments in return.
Oh, I already played it.
Really?
Yeah, but I guess you're right. This would be an excellent video idea.
What? Mick, what's with all this darkness? I can't see a thing! Hey! Robot voice thingy from the previous videos. A little help here.
Adjacent is no longer with us. But don't worry. You won't be facing fear on your own.
What? What are you even talking about? What fear?
Oh, you poor fool. It will slowly draw you and your companions insane as you fight for your lives through the twisting hallways and forests, having to contend with devious traps, unpleasant obstacles, intense pressure, and eldritch horrors from beyond the dome above the earth.
Hey.
Why would anyone dare face such torment?
Hey.
For gold, for glory, for redemption.
Hey.
Steel yourself. For you will need every ounce of will.
Stop monologuing.
Fighting for your and your troops' lives as you venture deep into the
Dicey Dungeon.
What?
We're not doing Darkest Dungeon. We're doing Dicey Dungeon.
But I already said the thing! It was such a good setup!
No, it wasn't. It was forced and cringy. Just don't jump into conclusions. And don't give me that sad look either. It's not even been 3 minutes into the video. You can't already be crying like every other time.
But this isn't a fighting game!
And what does the genre have to do with anything? Oh, you clickbaiting little
Despite my joking in the intro, Dicey Dungeon is sufficiently distinct from Darkest Dungeon to explicitly not be a clone, even though on the surface they may seem similar. Instead of battles being group-based, it's always 1v1s in Dicey Dungeon. There's also no prep to do between the excursions, as all the missions, called episodes, are self-contained and must be either failed or completed. You're going in the bank with nothing but what you started, and what will you find on the way, baby? Sometimes they are earned as level rewards or bought from the shops, but most of the times they're guarded by creatures you must battle. Your reward? A chance at winning your heart's greatest desire. In case of our first playable character, the warrior, it's a monster truck, and he's willing to fight tooth and nail for it. But should he fail, he'll become a minion instead. So sharpen your blade and pick your cards wisely. It's fighting! Battling is unsurprisingly done through dice. You roll a few, more with each level, and then place them on these cards that allow you to attack your foes.
Now, the tutorial is basically as bare bones as you can get. It shows you how to attack, how to use the warrior's ability, direct attacks, counter, as in countdown, attacks, and a sneak peek as to what kind of epic music will play in the battles. After the tutorial, you're thrown right into the first episode of The Warrior. No transition, no warning, no nothing. Just throws you in. Kind of like a dice.
In other words, it's perfectly integrated into the gameplay with a smooth transition. And if it weren't for the fact that I quit due to a bug and didn't realize the game didn't outsave, I wouldn't have figured it out. Generally, there's a good degree of gameplay and story integration.
Despite there not being much of a story, there's still a bunch of things to be had. It's all about the battles and randomized loot you'll get, kind of like the Binding of Isaac.
But with dice! As in, all your characters are literally walking dice. The thief, the inventor, the robot, and the witch, each of them with a unique playstyle. The thief prefers spamming low value numbers to take advantage of reusable equipment. The robot generates dice on a blackjack style system where you can keep rolling until you hit or pass a certain value, which is my favorite because it gives you some strategy. It makes him almost immune to the freezing status effect. And the witch, who rocks some spells, but she must prepare them first. She's one of the harder characters to play, but properly set up, Feel my 100 dice of doom!
After you beat each episode, Lady Luck's assistant, the Jester, will be there to spin the Wheel of Fortune, which is absolutely not rigged. After you inevitably happen to lose the spin, you naturally have another shot at it after each episode. They will progressively get more and more difficult as more and more challenges are introduced. Dwindling health, pre-rolled dice, new enemies, anything from robots, IKEA enthusiasts, bears, social media addicts, ghosts with instant capabilities, and your true favorite, the Loudbird.
No! Loudbird can bugger off! All the other enemies are fine, bringing in a variety of styles and status effects and direct damage. There's things that banishes attacks, things that knock your dice. But no, none of them are that bad, because the bird bastard can stunlock you into oblivion, dodging everything you throw at it, while avoiding any damage from you.
Well, what'd you expect? Birds are the best.
I would rather find a boss than this avian menace to society.
Oh, come on, Mick. You're going too hard on the bird. Wouldn't you be annoyed if someone came and bothered you while you vibed to this epic music? I surely would. Besides, I never had any trouble beating them. I just guess you suck.
Oh, no. I don't suck. I beat the most of them. In fact, I am pretty fucking confident I can beat 90% of the enemies in a straight line. I even beat the first boss and on my face try and aced the episode straight afterwards. And I only just begun rolling over everyone.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Well, that's not ominous or anything.
Oh, shut up. I only usually had problems with the bird because I failed to strategically use the healing items from leveling up and the apples distributed around the map. If you don't have any way of healing in battle, doing this becomes a necessity. Plus, he's got a bone if you're playing Thief because he can just spam weak attacks, making the dodge irrelevant. Ironically, the Thief is boned with finding Mr. Cactus over here because of the thorns. It really does sometimes come down to choosing the right equipment for the job, even if normally it wouldn't fit your character's playstyle. And if you're playing Inventor, then choosing only the garbage equipment might be the best choice on hand.
And that would be because the Inventor takes your shit and makes shit into shit. As in after each battle, 3 random equipped gears will pop up and you'll have to make a choice of what goes and what stays. The thing that's chosen is made into a gadget that can be used every turn, which is nice, of course. Thankfully, there's these things called scraps that always pop up into the menu of what you want to scavenge, but you have to have it equipped using an item slot.
And I hate it, because if you find a gear combo that synergizes really well, you must ruin it. Having foreknowledge of what does what is really helpful here.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
Oh, shut up, you! What's the worst that can happen, really? Oh.
Another life wasted in the pursuit of glory and gold.
Well, at least the game is merciful and allows you to still play as the witch, even if you bomb your first Inventor run. That
preparedness,
though, the witch basically runs on that. You have to burn dice to prepare spells before she can use them. Thankfully, you only need to do that once, but your selection is limited to 4 out of 6. Getting her to work properly is tricky as hell, but if you can pull it off, she can keep going for months. Unless she means the fucking bah! The silent status effect absolutely cripples her! You know what? Forget it. I'm ditching this place. I can't stand this further menace.
Well, if you're going to leave, then at least talk about the remaining character before you go.
Ah yes, the spoilers. They begin here. You have been warned.
A moment of respite. A chance to steel oneself against the coming horrors.
Now, you may have noticed there's actually a 6th character to unlock. I mean, I heard about the rule of 3, but the rule of 6? reasonable in the Dicey Dungeon. The sixth character is the Jester, the very same assistant to Lady Luck that you've been fending off so many times before. Like, 3 times before. 4 if you count the time he's a boss. And his gimmick of changing our equipment every turn is translated into the gameplay in a way I honestly didn't expect. What I did expect is the Jester having 3 separate decks that you automatically cycle between, forcing you to alternate equipment every turn. But instead his gear works like a deck of cards. Think Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Hearthstone or Uno, except for some things. You still gotta use the dice to play them, you always have 3 until you burn through the entire deck, and if you have duplicate cards, you can choose to discard them. Despite the seemingly impossible odds brought by randomness, you can actually plan ahead with your card builds thanks to the fact that the order they come in is retained from the previous turn. And with proper shuffling and abusing dice gaining cards, you can utilize his limit break to autocast any duplicate cards that you would normally simply throw away. Meaning you could potentially save all your dice all the way up to his finale card. As the name implies, you must play every other card before it, and then you can deliver some real nice damage. And yes, it is incredibly satisfying to pull it off, especially when you're at critical health and facing the boss. And doing so gave me as much of a fuck yeah moment as doing it with the one in Darkest Dungeon.
The bigger the beast, the greater the glory.
Oh, and don't worry, his Wheel of Fortune spinning duties are filled in by the absolutely adorable baby squid, who is just the most precious little thing. Ah, I love it.
I personally don't care for the little thing. It's literally made to be cute and stereotypical, so it doesn't really interest me. But anyway, hope you enjoy the Jester's music enough, cause that, god damn it, I did it again! But anyway, hope you enjoy the Jester's music enough, cause once you get him as a playable character, you'll never hear his theme again!
Well, that simply won't do! Guess I'm gonna have to mess with the saves, hack him back into the game. Hacks!
Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
I didn't say nothing. I did no hacks. I have cheated on no saves. There is absolutely not a simple way to retain your save file, and there are no exploits you can use to keep it from being deleted. Anyway, I still want to get out of here, so for the final chapter, I must stage a rebellion. The one dice player I choose gets to fight his way through the backstage and try to escape, gathering supporters on the way. Oh, and they can die. Sometimes it might be a good idea to let some of the less useful ones get themselves annihilated in exchange for a better option, or to just keep someone you find more valuable from getting killed. Either way, you and your party will eventually face off against Lady Luck herself. As her battle rages on, she slowly gets more and more difficult until you explode her! And then everyone lived happily ever after their end.
Hey, you forgot to mention the fact that the character's bios change throughout the game, and maybe some other things I'm forgetting. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, the game is just chock full of small oddities like that just make the game feel more alive. As your characters begin to distrust Lady Luck over the course of the games, the text of their bios changes. This applies to the enemies too. Did you know that the Wolf Pup and Dire Wolf are related? Apparently the kid ran down into the dungeon to look for fun, and the mom followed him, and now they're both trapped. Oh, and the frog? He's a total simp. But seriously, the witch gets really relatable to me. After the game, she has to remind everyone that, as popular as her Dicey Dungeons content is, she has other non-DD stuff that you can watch. Fitting, cause most of the people seem to only come to my channel for the war stuff. I can't blame you, but still.
Well, no shit. People only care for porn, even on a non-porn website. That's why your popular videos are only the ones with porn in them. I bet this video won't get many views at all anyway.
Well, fine then. They win. Next episode we're gonna be getting them what they want, and I will dive straight into the blazing inferno of hell to bring them their dream.
And that game is?
Not hard to figure out, although With Ladylike defeated, I have one more reason to go back to the dungeon.
Reuniting with friends and enjoying the baby squid's company, which I do not.
No, fucking up this alien son of an egg!
What?
See, I found out the inventor has a gadget that allows her to swap all equipment with the enemy.
Sounds like it'd be great to use on bosses.
It even works if your equipment is empty. So if I take nothing with me...
Hey,
I pick a fight with the bird knowing full well he will stand no chance.
why are you ignoring me?
And I steal all the items, and he gets nothing!
Stop. You don't look scary at all. You just look like you're trying too
So
hard.
now the bird can't do anything as I slowly whittle his health down bit by bit. It feels so good.
Screw this. I'm out of here, man. You can end the video however you want, unless you want this to be the end of the video, then... well... goodbye to the very few people who are going to watch this video.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Somebody call it back.